Hey guys, Karibo Bros here, and today we're with Jack Walker, who recently came top 64 with True Draco at UK Nats. So since then we've had the new ban list and a few changes to the deck. So Jack, do you want to walk us through it and explain the choices?
The True Draco deck as a whole hasn't really changed from the ban list, but the decks we're playing have changed quite a bit. Obviously I've seen less representation, taking a little bit of a hit. Pure Sky Striker's taking more of a role over like Trick Scar Sky Striker and stuff, so kind of changed my build a bit to combat that. So monsters, pretty much the same, one Dynamite, top guy of the deck, gets you a trap card whenever you want it. Two auto. Been tinkering with taking this out altogether. I'm playing like Draith and the Waterfall, kind of Waterfall of Dragon Souls. Plays them all around evenly. You can extend a bit further, but I found in testing that like just one hand trap can still just like completely shoot down like a lot of people are playing 3 Ogre at the moment, and Ogre on a diagram can just be crucial. So I still feel like this is a much needed card. 2 Ignis, powerful card. The only one that wasn't reprinted, hence the price spike. But I like it at 2, and then 2 Maiden, just to get your searches off, get your monsters up, get your Dynamite up as quick as possible for the interruption. I feel like these guys are the probably ideal ratio for me. Some people like to play 3 Ignis or 3 Maiden, but I feel like these are the best ratios to not clog up your hand with too many monsters.
I was just wondering, how come you play the 2 Amano and not 3?
Amano just bricks, like it's too cloggy at 3. Like you want to see it, but like when you've got so much draw engine that you're going to be drawn into, like, you don't want to see another copy of it really past your first one, unless it gets destroyed, in which case the second one can be handy. But past that, it's got no real interaction, so you just kind of, at that point, you stall them with your floodgates rather than the Amano. It's just good to like get your first turn board set up. 3 Diagram, obviously just really good card, searches whatever you want. Get your T Dynamite as quick as possible. 3 Heritage, draw, extra tribute summon. NMST when it wants to be. Disciples helps you recur your spells and traps. Just shuffle some monsters back in, like your Dynamite if it gets destroyed, really important. 2 Terraforming, put to 2 on the ban list, but a lot of people would probably cut it down to 2 anyway for a bit more deck space, so it doesn't really hurt the deck all that much.
You've got enough draw power.
Yeah, you've got enough draw power, and I'd usually side out a second Terraforming, the third Terraforming anyway, like game 2 and 3. So 3 Card of Demise, skillful card, but gets you draws, you know, and can just get you back in the game after an evenly, or you know, if someone breaks your board. So it's always good. 2 Duality, it's a good card, but you don't want to see multiples of it. This is a hard one per turn. Yeah, you just don't want to be seeing too much of it. 2 Call By, again, put to 2 on the ban list. I was a bit confused as to that, because it was kind of a bit odd to stop everyone playing like 12 hand traps format.
I think the only reason it might be is because Goki also played, but then again it still makes no sense.
Yeah, but like the stuff like Goki can extra link you, and like the only way to stop that is like an Ash or a Droll. So surely if they're the issues, then instead of taking this card out, just take the hand traps out, or you know, ban the card. I'm not really too sure where they were going with it, but it's at 2 now, so I still played it 2. It's still a really good card. Just stop the Ogres on your diagrams if you don't have the Amano. It doesn't clog like Amano though, because you can set it, and it has other versatility as well. So yeah, so there are my spells and traps. You've got the 1 return. Obviously really good. It's a good interaction with Draith. I've not put Draith in this. I didn't find it as prominent, but you can like loop 2 Draith, so you get like a bit of a soft lock because you can't target any True Draco monsters. And in like Widow Anchor format, that's pretty good because Sky Strikers do a lot of targeting, and it can just kind of shut them down. So I'd still consider that build, but I didn't find it as. It was just a bit more bricky, and I found that sometimes like no one really cared about the plus draw. They could break your board extra, link you an OTK, so it wasn't really that much of an issue. 3 Apocalypse, really good. Cards insane. Just to like True Draco don't have many monsters, so if you saw anything bigger, I'll just take it down, and then the rest. 3 Impermanence. Still think 3's pretty good. It's not once per turn. You know, if you draw 2, it's not especially dead if your opponent goes first. You know, you hit stuff like a Zolde, if you draw 2, they make a second one. You can take the Arts all day out as well, and you basically just stop your opponent from playing, which is really good. And it's good against stuff like Dark Claw as well, stuff like that. Dweller can be useful as well. So it's all down to that really. 2 Erupt, probably. Yeah, like I play most of my floodgates at 2, simply because like with all the draw power and stuff you're getting, you're gonna see at least 1 or 2 of your floodgates. The problem is just drawing like multiples of all your floodgates instead of like a combination of 1 or 2. So if you see like 3 Erupt, yeah, it's good, but if you see like an Erupt and a Rivalry or a Erupt and a Gozen, then it's just better because you have more versatility there. So yeah, 2 Rivalry. Card's still good, like against Sky Strikers, pretty much anything. It's just really good. It just stops them from playing for a turn or for multiple turns until they have the out. So sometimes it's just an insta win. There can only be 1 Gozen match. I want to play 2 Gozen, but I didn't have the second Gozen, so put there can only be 1 in. Not as useful in the current format unless you're playing like Altergeist, just because they're all like anything that has like all the same types. So like Altergeist, obviously, even the True Draco Mirror can be pretty fun if they summon like a Majesty Maiden and you've got a Dynamite on board. There can only be 1 can just kind of stop them from summoning more monsters than you, and then you can gain some advantage back. But I would side this rather than main it. Side 2 copies, and then when I play like Altergeist or something to bring it in, the Rivalries would come up because they're pretty useless at that point. Judgment.
Good.
Yeah, I'd side it out game 2 and 3. Paying half your life when you close to time doesn't really.
Just helps with game 1. Then.
Yeah, but with game 1, it can just stop like the blowout card that you can just like push you to win the game. People that main evenly in game 1 can be up to that, or anything like that. And then Order, fantastic card at the moment. Sky Strikers are the most represented deck now after the ban list.
I was going to say, you said you were getting angry seeing people playing this deck inside on this.
Yeah, I don't like with the stats from the current 3 YCSs, the 200th YCSs we've seen. I think Sky Strikers had somewhere between pure Sky Strikers somewhere between 50 and 60% like people playing them. And I think in a format where the deck literally revolves around spell cards, why you wouldn't play this card. I'm tinkering putting anti-spell back in, but I just prefer the Gozen and Rivalry because it stops them really making a board, whereas anti-spell can stop for a turn, but if you don't have the follow-up, like if you haven't opened particularly well, after that turn they can just continue, they just go through again, they pop your guys, and then you're kind of back to square one, whereas Rivalry and Gozen can just shut them out for like a few turns until you get your engine going. And this card, I mean, without a monster it can slowly just kill you, but if you have an established board, this card's just blow up because you have all your trap cards and then you just beat them down with the monster you have, and you don't care about taking the 700 life. So
good card.
Yeah,
Good card.
I previously always hated on this card, but I think I've learned to play with it a bit better, not lock myself out with it.
Learn to love it.
Yeah, it happens every now and then, but obviously with the Sky Strikers being a lot more prevalent, it's just so good.
Do you side this out, game 3?
It depends on what I'm playing, because obviously you pay the life, but when you're playing against something like Sky Strikers, I'd probably keep it in just because Sky Strikers literally can't really play, like they have to have the Ray, but then you have like the Gozens, the Rivalry, the backup to follow that, so like if they're doing that, then you can easily outmatch the damage with your guys. So yeah, side deck, I'm still tinkering with that, but I'm probably gonna side about 2 to 3 copies of Inspector Border. Card's really good in stuff like Altergeist and stuff. It's just kind of blowout because obviously it stays on board, but Altergeist don't really have a way to deal with the Inspector Border unless they unless they side for it. But obviously it's still a really good card. It's like an Amano, but it just sticks. So yeah, I'll probably side that in. 3, I'm tinkering with Y-Attack at the moment. I played Red Reboot for Nats and Euros, but I didn't find it to be that useful. I think Y-Attack's probably better, only because with Reboot, obviously you're not OTKing them really.
Yeah.
So you set the trap, and then if you don't really have the follow-up after it, it can just be kind of bad.
Spin Twisters?
Heavy Storm Duster. The thing with twin twisters, like you need quite a few combo pieces to really get going, and the discard.
Can't afford to lose the hand.
Yeah, sometimes the discard's fine, but other times it just can be a bit crucial to, you know, especially when you've got as well like demise and stuff empty in your hand. If you're setting the twin twisters,